Hello everyone. Hello if you have watched one of my videos before and you like my content. Hello if you've never watched one of my videos before and you don't know if you're gonna like my content. Hello if you just came here to hate. You trifling as hell, but hey, anyways. I just want to introduce y'all I would like to introduce y'all to my guest host, Mittens. Mittens is a cat name, but oh my god, she's the cutest thing I ever laid eyes on. I'm so sorry, Perry. Perry's up in heaven, like, snarling at me, but look how cute. A little bearded lady. My god, I love her. She's so precious. She's so cuddly. So, we recently took in Cruz. I'm not gonna say adopted because he was a little street dog. And I'm telling you, if we wouldn't have had Cruz, this would be a foster fail right here because she's so sweet and precious, and she has a nice little fat belly that you can rub. And the thing is, whenever I try to rub Cruz's belly, there's a wiener in the way, and she doesn't have this. She just has her little acorn, and that's not in the way at all. But she's so cute and sweet, and I'm really sick that we gotta give her up. But you know, we got Princess, and we have Cruzy, who's not named after Ted Cruz, by the way. Somebody asked me that the other day to torment me, and he calls him Little Ted Cruz, and that's not what we're gonna do. Anyways, I want to talk about my ghost story from New Orleans. However, I want to talk about some other shit first. So, I'm in Louisiana, and a lot of people who watch my shit know that because they're people I know. They're my friends because they some real ass motherfuckers who support my shit, and I love y'all. Okay, but really, I'm in Louisiana. There's like 2 hurricanes coming at us right now. I don't know. I think one of them died down into something else, but then the other one that wasn't supposed to be a series is like strengthening up maybe. And one was supposed to hit today, but now it's gonna hit like tomorrow or Thursday or something. I don't fucking know what's going on, but like a hurricane's coming. So there's that. And then we're in the middle of a pandemic still, and there's that. And I also started grad school, which I wasn't gonna do, and I was about to tell the people, oh, you know, I don't want to do this because I don't want to do research, because I don't fucking like to do research because I'm a lazy piece of shit. But I ended up doing it anyways, and the assistantship that I have, and for people who don't know what an assistantship is, they pay your tuition and you work, or they waive your tuition and you work for the university. So when I found out what the assistantship was, I was like, this would look pretty nice on my resume in my portfolio. Maybe I'll do it for a semester or 2. I really would like to switch into an MBA program, and if I can, I will do that. But the assistantship is really good and would look really good in my portfolio and my resume, and I think it would be really cool, and it's supporting women, which, you know, is a passion of mine if you don't know. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. So yeah, in a pandemic, so that's cool. And now we're about to get a hurricane, so hopefully it won't be too horrible, because I know some people who have not recovered from the flood like 4 years ago. If y'all can hear Princess snoring in the background, I just don't know what to tell you. My girl is asleep and she snores. I'm sorry about it. But yeah, hopefully the hurricane won't be too bad. Usually it's the flooding that really just like fucks people up. So hopefully it will not be too bad. But anyways, tomorrow's supposed to be my 3rd day of school. It got canceled. My class Monday got canceled. I had a class today, which really wasn't a class. It's more of just like something that they put you in to help you like ease your way through the first semester of grad school, I guess. And then my 3rd day class, which was supposed to be tomorrow, got canceled. So that's cute. So I am working from home because I'm working for the university, and I'm also working for the census right now, which, if you don't know what the census is, we learned that in like 3rd grade, and I don't know like what the fuck's going on up in this town, but I'll go up to some people and be like, hey, I'm with the census, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, what's that? I'm like, what do you mean, what's that? And they're like, well, what is it? What is it for? Is it for, like, the landlord? And I'm like, no, that's not what it's. I don't know your landlord. It's for the landlord of America, I guess. Like, shit, I don't know. So, that's been different. People are just kind of rude, and they don't like giving out their information, which is wild to me, because if you have like a Facebook, if you have like an email address, the government literally has all your information, like down to like the last time you took a shit. So I don't know what is the issue with y'all. You don't want to tell me how many people live in your house? I don't care. I don't give a shit. If you got 8 people living in a 2-bedroom, they got nothing to do with me. I just am doing my job. Like, why are you giving me a hard time? And I'll be like, or, you know, is anyone Hispanic or whatever? And they're like, do I look Hispanic? I don't know what you are, colonizer. I was just asking a question that I'm required to ask. Please hop off me. So anyways, people are irritating, but that's that. So, a little stalker update. Apparently, he's trying to be friendly with Josh now and talk to him about video games and such. So, I guess he's gotten over his hard feelings about the whole imaginary situation that he made up in his mind that literally had nothing to do with him, but he somehow put himself into that situation. Men are exhausting. Any men watching this, you're a tiring species. You're tiring. And I really wish some of y'all I could just telepathically just throw across the room. So that's that on that. So, what else? I think that's it. I think that's all for updates that nobody asked for, but I don't care. And this is my channel, and I run things around here. So, hurricanes coming, you know, country ass people down here, they wilding out, of course. They're like, people are buying, literally, my sister told me the other day, they sold like 850 generators. Do you know? That's a lot of generators. And I feel like it's common, you know, practice to just have one down here because of hurricanes. Why don't these people got a generator? And why they just got all this disposable money to just go buy a generator? They want that electricity bad. I can't lie though, when the lights go out, I do be squeaking for the electricity too. I'm like, Wi-Fi. Ooh. So, okay, let me get into my ghost story before I start rambling some more. So, last year, around this time actually, I got an internship / contract job in New Orleans doing digital marketing. Well, I was doing like content marketing, so I was like basically writing the whole day, which, you know, it's fine. I liked the atmosphere. They only had one other like black girl in there. Well, we were both mixed actually, but so one other black girl. But I really liked it. It was really fun. I miss it, like looking back, I miss it. But at the time I was in such a bad place. Like I was so depressed and my relationship was falling apart, and then I got dumped and I was like crushed. So I was over there by myself, didn't really know anybody, was heartbroken, and I kind of hated where I lived, like, which I'll get into that some more. But I didn't really like start being friends with the other interns until like towards the end of it, and I didn't really start going out and doing things and enjoying myself towards the end of it because I only had the one job at first, which was the internship. I only had that job at first, so I really didn't have a whole lot of money, and I was having to pay rent, which really hurt my feelings. And yeah, I didn't really like know anyone. I was just scared because I had to move for the first time, and I had to like pay rent, and I was by myself, and you know, my man's was in fucking Kuwait, which is like basically he might as well have been on another planet. Like, so I was just going through it at the time when I really should have been enjoying myself. But now looking back, I do miss it. I don't miss like the traffic because that pissed me off. And I don't miss the fact that there literally every Sunday when I tried to go to work, there was a parade. That shit really pissed me off because I did not know the streets well enough to be bobbing and weaving and taking all these detours. And also another thing I did not miss is that on my way to my second job, which I worked at Lush, which I fucking loved. When I tell y'all, I hate working retail, but I would go work back at Lush. Like samples, you get to just walk around sniffing shit all day. You get to learn about these dope ass products. Like, just being in the atmosphere of Lush, it's such a different feel than a regular, like say if you work in a grocery store or a clothing store or something. And plus the clientele is a different kind of clientele. Like, say, okay, when I worked at the grocery store, bitches is rude. Like, they're coming after work, or they're annoyed, or they're coming with their like millions of kids and they're just dicks. But it was different because people were going there to seek out a specific product and they want your help and they care what you have to say. Like, it's just so different and so nice. And oh my God, I wish I could go back. And they had some really cool people. Literally, it was a store full of gays. It was like so nice. You know, straight people are tiring. They're tiring. They're exhausting. They're any other synonym for one of those two words. So that was a lot of fun. And plus there's just like a lot to do in New Orleans. Let me tell you though, the food in Lafayette is a million times better than food in New Orleans, and I will fight anybody behind that statement, and that's on that. So anyways, I had a roommate, and it was an older lady, maybe in like her 50s, but she was like a special education teacher. And not that it matters, but she was a lesbian, so like she was always out with her a partner, girlfriend, whatever, who was like really cool. And she had like purple hair, and she did like cool shit, and her daughter, I think, did like sci-fi shit and made like eyelashes that go for Comic-Con costumes. It was just a very odd pairing, but the girlfriend was really cool, and I liked whenever she was around. So the lady who I lived with, the roommate, she was not home often because, you know, she didn't have any kids, and she has all this disposable income because you have that whenever you don't have kids. So she would go do shit like every weekend and every night too. Like, this bitch was never home. So I basically had the house to myself all the time. So one night, no, it was one weekend because she paid me to babysit her dog. So one weekend she goes wherever, camping, or I don't know, whatever, like older women who are not single, older women in their 50s, I don't know what the fuck they do. So she went do whatever she did, and I was there by myself. Well, I think it was cold, so I had the heater on, and I had a lamp on because I think at this time it was still pretty fresh there, so I wasn't too comfortable sleeping with the lights off yet. So I had the lamp on, and I was so tired. I was so tired. I literally could not keep my eyes open, and I don't know what was the issue. Like, somebody fucking slipped me a Mickey or something. Like, I don't know what was going on. I was so tired. So I went to sleep, or I fell asleep, or whatever. So at one point in the middle of the night, I hear the dog scratching on the door. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's the middle of the night. Like, I'm not about to take you out. You just poop on the floor, and I'm gonna just take my L, clean it up later. So I fall back asleep. Dog scratches on the door again. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm finna go punt you across the house. Like, stop. So I get up, to go see what's the problem. Open the door, dog's not at the door. And I'm like, well, this is weird because I literally just heard her scratching at the door. So she's not at the door. I go, my white side overtook me. I go look for her, and she's like 2 or 3 rooms over on top of the sofa, like asleep on a blanket. And she wakes up and looks at me, and I'm like, what you doing? And she just looks at me and doesn't say anything because she's a dog. And I'm like, so that wasn't you at the door? And it wasn't her at the door. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to sleep. So go get in the bed. I'm still super tired. Go back to sleep. Okay, fall back asleep. At some point during the night, I heard a door slam. Like a door in the house. And I was like, maybe my roommate's back early. So Lord only knows what possessed me to get up and go see a second time, because this literally, I watch scary movies, like I live and breathe this shit, and I know you just shouldn't go see. Like whenever you hear a sound and you're like, I'm gonna go see what that was, that's like one of the worst ideas. It's right up there with, hey, we should split up. Anyways, I went to see, and none of the doors were open. None of the doors were open, and the dog was still asleep. And she woke up and looked at me again, and I was like, girl, you heard that? And she didn't say anything again because she's a dog. So I went back in the room and locked the door and got in the bed, and I was like, what do I do? Like, is somebody fucking with me? Is the roommate back? Like, what's going on? Am I imagining this? But I know I wasn't imagining it because, you know, like, I was awake. And I know I was awake because I got up. So the next morning, which I'm surprised I even fell back asleep. I must have been really tired. Or maybe I was just, like, so depressed. I'm to the point where, like, whatever's gonna be is gonna be. So if a Tata comes in here and gets me, it is what it is. I'm gonna be at least go out doing what I love, which is sleeping. So I woke up the next morning. You know, nothing's out of the ordinary. All the doors are closed. The dog's still in the house, still on the sofa, doing what she does, sleeping. Roommate's not back. But I noticed that, so she has an attic, and you know, you have the thing where you pull down to get to the steps, like the ladder or whatever, to go up into the attic. And, you know, for anyone who thinks that's weird, we have attics in Louisiana because the ground's so fucking swampy and soft that you can't have a basement because it'll probably just like collapse on itself. I noticed that the attic door in the ceiling had like a little, well, not a little, kind of little. It had like a crack in it, like it was open, and it hadn't been open the night before. And I was like, bitch, I got some squatters. This is whatever that movie is with the babysitter and the dude is calling from inside the house and he's in the attic. And I was like, somebody's living in the fucking attic. So I was scared as shit. Like, I was scared as hell. And I was like, if somebody pops out this attic right now, you really got to do like a whole 3-point turn to back up out of the driveway. And like, I'm fucked. I'm fucked. That's it. That's all I could. What can I do besides just lock myself in the room and leave the dog to fend for herself? Like, nothing. So the roommate gets back, and I'm like, okay, so this happened. She's like, like, brushed it off. I'm like, bitch, this ain't funny. It's not funny. I'm terrified. I don't want nobody to pop down from the attic at me. So, but anyway, she blew it off, and nothing strange like that ever happened again. as long as I was living there. Maybe she told whoever in the attic that to keep the noise down because I was on to them, or maybe the person living in the attic heard me say whatever I said, or maybe it was a ghost and it seen me text my mom and tell her what happened and it didn't want to be found out, because you know ghosts be living rent free. So I don't know, it was a crazy experience. So if you ever want some wild ass, crazy ass, voodoo, ghost, supernatural shit to happen to you, you should go to New Orleans. But if you go looking for it, I don't think it's gonna come to you. I think you just gotta not be expecting that shit, and then boom, some haunted shit happens to you. Anyways, thanks for watching. I say goodbye, and so does Mittens, my little bearded lady.